Hello, and thank you for watching my video. Welcome to episode 15 of my leveling challenge, and today we're actually going to be leveling up by map completing the Black Citadel. As you can see here, we're completing the Vigil Chapter House, and it's at 41% already, and that's because we've done a lot of the map completion already through the personal story of the Char, by going up to see Ritlock and Smolder. So we've done a lot already, and we're already at 44%. So today you're going to see me run around in normal speed, nothing exciting apart from you're going to get a lot of background about the Black Citadel, and that's why I wanted to do this. So you can see here, this is Stormcaller Triumph, and this is actually what we one of the first few missions in Guild Wars 1. Stormcaller was a horn that sort of was trying to defeat the Char, and was an ancient relic, and this was built upon the city, or the human city, of Rin. And so this is the Black Citadel, and the Black Citadel is the headquarters of one of the Char Legions. Now the Char Legions, there are 4 Char Legions. There are the Ash Legion, the Iron Legion, the Blood Legion, and the Flame Legion. Now the Flame Legion we know is the Citadel of Flame. That's one of the dungeons in Guild Wars 2. And this is the Black Citadel, and this is the Iron Legion's headquarters. And the reason it's there is because the Imperator, Smolder, he's actually the head of the Char, basically. And it's pretty much a huge mechanical city, and as I said, it's built upon the ruins of Rin in Ascalon. So part of the city is actually the old human city, parts of the Great Wall. And this is actually the closest, you know, this capital is the closest to the other races in the game, where the Blood Legion we know is further to the east, and we're not too sure where the Ash Legion as well. But there's lots of mechanical devices in this city, like tanks and vehicles. There's an arena in here as well, and obviously we have the Imperator's Core where Smolder sits. And it generally, this is allowed. There are many different races allowed in the city, thanks to Imperator Smolder, who tends to be a little bit more balanced and open to for allowing races to come and mix. So here we go. You can see there's a lot of different races. We've got like Sylvari in here. Obviously, humans being allowed to roam is pretty controversial. But we're actually down now. This is the ruins of Rin, so you can see there's lots to do with the humans, and this is actually part of where we were in Guild Wars 1. This was the sort of the missions that we first encountered in Guild Wars 1, and as I said, the Stormcaller was a reference back to, I think, the very first or the second mission in Guild Wars 1. So it was nice that they've actually referenced that, and you can see obviously lots of old ruins and relics going on. Not all of it really we can tell belonged, you know, where it fits into Guild Wars 1. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson, and you know, talk to you about, you know, the Black Citadel and what its role is throughout Guild Wars 2. We have the actual enforcers. If you think of the Lion's Arch, are controlled by the Lion Guard. You have the Seraph for the Divinity's Reach. For the Black Citadel, we actually have the Adamant Guard, and they are the people that will govern the Black Citadel. So those of you, if you ever see an Adamant Guard and you're wondering, well, what type of role they play, they are the guardians of the Black Citadel. So one of the interesting things about this is the number of points of interest that are in instances, because there are a lot of different instances, because you have the Ash Tribune Quarters, the Blood Tribune Quarters, the Command Core, the Citadel Stockade, as well as your home instance. So there are a lot of different actually instances, and you actually have to go through that via the Imperator's Core. So a lot of people actually, for the Black Citadel, do struggle to find some of these points of interest. So I'm hoping my video guide will help you. But this is a nice area. It's one of those few areas where you actually get, you know, if you compare it to Divinity's Reach, it's a very symmetrical city. If we look at the Grove, that has different levels. It does have a couple of areas where they're tunneling away that are outside the main sort of area. And then we go to the Ratasum. They have like the dockyard where some of the boats are and other areas. But even if you look at the non-capital, you know, the Holbreck, they've got like the area, the icy area where there's not much going on, like the Keg Brawl area. Whereas this, you know, the Black Citadel has all this old ruins from where it's been built upon. And, this part where we are now is nowhere near the main city, and it's the fact that we can go and explore outside and have a wander around. I think that makes it a little bit different to some of the other cities. Obviously, being in Ascalon, this is where a lot of the Halloween events take place, because they created a doorway or an event where you actually, or an instance where you go down and look at, or go down and experience the dealings and the issues with the Mad King's son via the Halloween event. And that's what I enjoy, the fact, that the developers have used a lot of this to bring in and to look at Guild Wars 1, old Guild Wars 1 issues and lore moments. So as you can see here, we've got a fair amount of random stuff to go and explore. We have almost finished this off. There isn't too much to do. It's just a lot of instant stuff. So we've got this vista here. It's always interesting, some of these broken little areas. Just when I say broken areas, just like, broken stairwells and little tidbits. And I like all the statues as well that they have. You should take the time to actually read and look at some of the statues, because there is a huge amount of information and sort of lore to do with Guild Wars that you should actually take the time and have a look at. This is another interesting bit. This little point of interest right here, it is a pain. This is one of the ones that I find extremely difficult every time I do the Black Citadel. I always get confused. But I actually have to say, there are a couple of areas that I've found in the Black Citadel that, there's a pathway where you can go through, and I only found that out recently. So there are still little nooks and crannies that you can find your way about. You can see there's a lot of points of interest in my home instance that I've yet to explore. But all these big statues, I think they're all pretty cool, and they give you a lot of interesting history about the chart. So you can see me proceeding along. Again, this is just to try and level up to level 50, because, coming up to a lot of the areas, I am going to be heavily underleveled, and the main objective was to actually try and reach the personal story. So we've done that. We got to that waypoint, and you can see me getting stuck under this guy's tail, or the statue's tail. But what thing you don't realize is that there are a lot of lifts that you can take, or elevators, if you're America. And these elevators, lifts, do take you down to the arena and to other areas where the points of interest are. So I think I did just miss one, and I keep getting confused about where it actually is. And you can see we've got this nice little area here. This is the Plaza of Remembrance. So, you got all these different areas that if you haven't really... I'm not going to cover all of the different lore right now, but you should just take your own time. If you haven't explored this and actually clicked on everything, I have. I know a lot of this, and I've clicked on everything. And it's worth actually taking the time, because the developers have spent a long time creating all these little interesting nuggets. And this is where you actually get into the this is the Astro Tribune quarters. But these are the little instances where these points of interest are hidden. So you can see there, this is just one tiny little area, and it's for where you have this point of interest. So this is what you need to be careful of and need to be aware of, that this is how you actually get these points of interest. So as you can see, we keep moving around. It's still one of the most confusing areas. I would say that this is probably one of the hardest ones. You can see they've got the command core. It is one of the more tricky areas to actually navigate, because there is a lot of verticality, but I don't think it's well designed. And I do think this could be an area in which ArenaNet could actually have an attack, for example, like they did with Lion's Arch. As you can see, this is where Smoder is. Imagine an attack on the Black Citadel, and a lot of it gets damaged and destroyed, and they rebuild it like Lion's Arch. It would give the developers a real big opportunity to expand and develop the Black Citadel, because I do feel that this is actually one of those cities that is very, very... It's not been as well thought out. If you actually, when you were developing it, it is an amazing city visually. It's beautifully designed, and I think that it really does just need a little bit of reworking, bringing some new features, and make it generally easier to get around. I do think it's very spread out, and there is some verticality, but not really well designed compared to, say, Dry Top or, you know, the Silver Wastes type of verticality. So you can see that was the main arena, and obviously coming into guild halls with the Heart of Thorns is the expansion. It will be guild halls with their own arena, and it'll be interesting to see if they will do something with the Black Citadel and their arena there. But we haven't got too much more to go. We've got a few more points of interest. We've got this one here. Now, you think, okay, where is it? Okay, we think, oh, no, it's under there. There is actually a stockade. You can see that little jail symbol, and it's actually an instance, and we go through here. And this takes you into the stockade, and here we go. So this is the stockade, the Citadel stockade. So again, another instance in which you actually have to travel to get that point of interest. So we've only got 2 more points of interest, and they are both in my home instance. So that's where most of the home instances, or the points of interest, are. And we're progressing quite nicely here. You've got a lot of the soldiers there. It's quite cool. So here we go. This is Heroes Canton. And generally, I actually like the Black Citadel, although I do think it's a little bit clunky. But that is pretty much it about the Black Citadel. Yeah, as you know, it says, if you go to the wiki, it says, unlike other multi-level capital cities, all levels are merged onto a single map screen and are not displayed as separate levels. If we actually look at the map again, you know, you've got different levels. You can flick up, you know, for example, the Grove has like 3 or 4 different levels, which you can see on the main map. That isn't the case for the Black Citadel. It's all supposed to be on the same level, which is kind of confusing because it's very difficult to identify where those points of interest are. And that's, I think, something that they could and should rework if they get the opportunity. Perhaps maybe a Living World Season 3, they could actually work on redeveloping the Black Citadel. Just something that would make it a little bit easier to navigate, because it's not the easiest place in the world. I mean, we look here, to go up, you know, we've got to go up this little ramp here to get this point of interest. And we're still going, we're still going, we're still going, we're still going, we're going, and there we go, we got the Fire of Young Heroes. Okay, so there we go, that was it. We just had to go up that spiral staircase a little bit, and then we got it. So here we go, you can see my, you know, we're at what I was able to chop down. And this is going to be the final, there we go, that's it, the 12th Iron Maniple. So there we go, we have got the map completion. We just need to exit, but I'm going to finish off collecting, doing my sort of usual thing, harvesting my my personal instance. And this is what obviously your personal instance should be used for. You should visit this at least every day from one of your characters. And there we go. So we are not quite going to get to level 50. So we'll have to see if we can reach that another level. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching my video. Feel free to leave any comments if you've got any suggestions, any ideas that you think the Black Citadel needs, if there's anything wrong with it, and let me know. And if you think that there's any improvements that you would make, as you can see here, we've completely maxed out the Black Citadel. We've got that, you know, gold star around it, and here we go. So let's open the chest, and we get a you know, we get the transmutation charge, so it allows us to transmutate something as well. So there we go. Thank you very much again for watching. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you in the next episode.